Hello. Okay, welcome to our very first live training in our Soul Work Success Group. So this is the place for Lightworkers who are ready to live their purpose and who are ready to create success in their spiritual businesses. Whatever success looks like for you. Okay. Hello, Selena. Oh, this is good. So I have got a new phone. So I'm like, oh my God, is it working? It looks like it is. Thank you for being here. So good. Right. Let me just press refresh on my laptop so that I can see all of your beautiful comments and everything. How's everyone doing? Selena, how's it going? We are going to be diving in today into having an understanding of what it takes to create a successful spiritual business. Oh, hello, Goddess. Oh, thank you, fellow Goddess. Hi, Angela. Hello. Okay, right. So the camera keeps doing something funny where it keeps going in and out. I don't know how to stop that right now. So hopefully, I think what it's trying to do is shift focus. Hopefully that won't be too distracting. It's not me doing that. It's kind of just what it's doing because it's a new phone. So I am sorry. I'm glad you got your phone sorted. Hi, Lorna. Yes, yeah, it is. It's so much better. I didn't like the other phone because the camera on it was so weird. Like me and my mum did a live stream the other day and we just had like massive hands and massive thighs and we were like, well, this isn't going to work, is it? Do you know what I mean? So here we are, Soul Work Success. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so as I was just saying, there's going to be a weekly half-an-hour training, okay, every week. And, you know, I am going to listen to people's feedback as to what it is that they're wanting and what it is that they're needing, what it is that, you know, they need help with the most, because we're all at different points in our journey. All of the content in here is going to be free, okay, and it's going to be in depth. And to be honest with you, it is content that I could potentially charge money for, but I'm not. And the reason that I'm not is because, number one, so many people do need access to this information, okay, from, hi Holly, I'm glad you made it live as well. So many people need access to this information, this initial, like, foundational information. Yes, like when you invest in somebody, you're going to have a deeper experience. That is fact. You're going to get more out of it, okay? But, you know, not everybody is at that point initially. So it is, what I feel is it's kind of my job or my calling to empower people wherever they're at to, if that's what they want to do, then manifest that, okay? I'm only asking for people in here who are serious, though, about doing these trainings and about getting the results, okay? And therefore, the exchange that I would like from the people that are in here is that you please take part. You let me know what you're receiving from it. And if you're finding value from this, you then share it with others that may, you know, feel the benefit of it, may receive the benefit of it. And I'm going to be transparent with you as well. Yes, I am going to be putting forth offers and things like that in here because I am a business owner. And of course, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. So we're going to dive in, okay? Right. Are you somebody, first of all, that, okay, doubts yourself when it comes to your work, your spiritual gifts, not knowing the next step to take, okay, feeling disconnected at times from your healing work or with your purpose, or, you know, second guessing yourself, okay, or not knowing what the physical steps are, what are the actual aligned steps, what is the actual aligned action, okay, for me, right? Do you struggle with expressing and communicating what you do, okay? So let me know in the comments. Yeah, so Holly, I totally get this, as people engaging makes all the difference for real results. That is what makes the difference, right? So whenever we create something online, yeah, especially, The comments make the difference. People sharing your work on their pages makes the difference. So that is the exchange that I'm asking for in this space. Because like I said, I'm going to be giving you a lot. Okay. And you know what? Honestly, I enjoy it. And like, there's honestly one of my favorite things in life is just to see people transform and live their purpose. Like, it lights me up in just like beyond ways that I can even describe. So that's what this space is all about. So I want everybody in here to get results from the work that I'm offering, but you're only going to get that if you actually do the work, okay, and you actually take part. Debs, I always seem to be second guessing myself, which leads to doubt. Yeah, hell yeah, I know I'm great at what I do, but I can't get clients. Okay, right, yeah. And we're going to be going into this stuff, right? This is what all of this is about. It's about you really tuning into you, finding out more about who you are, and that's then going to translate to you speaking and expressing yourself in a much more clearer way, sharing your message. As you get clearer on your purpose, as you take the aligned action, it then translates into people resonating with what it is that you do, which then translates to clients, okay? So why now? Okay, because basically, I don't like the word basically, but whatever, right? Every day that you hold back on doing your purpose work and not giving what you have to give, and this is why I'm so passionate about this, right? Somebody isn't receiving from you, and you could say, well, they might get it from someone else. Well, they might get it from someone else, but the thing is, they're not going to get it in the same way, because there's a reason why you are called. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be called if there wasn't a need for it, right? It's one of the laws of the universe. Supply and demand, okay? There's a calling that the collective, that specific people, that specific souls that you have a soul contract with are asking for you to step into your gifts so that they can receive from you. And that's like a ripple effect in the collective. So every day that you second guess yourself, every day that you doubt yourself, somebody isn't receiving the support or the inspiration or the healing work that you have to give in only the specific way that you have to give it. And that's why people, you know, that's why I say to my clients that struggle with imposter syndrome, like, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter how many other light language people there are. It doesn't matter how many channelers there are. It doesn't matter how many coaches there are. You have been called because there is a demand for you, specifically you, okay? So, Holly, I'm always wanting to change my message. Yeah, I'm confusing myself. So definitely must be confusing my audience. I can't settle on what my business is about. Right, yeah. So it's you know, it's a transition. Everything is a transition. But the reason why we second guess ourselves a lot, the reason why we change our message so much is because we're not trusting in what we have to give in that moment. And when we feel a sense of inner certainty, and it's not like we have to be completely certain about what we have to give, but there is this like almost like certain like aspect of us that's like, here is what I have to give, this is the message, right? And then it's trusting that, and it's like over time, yes, your message is going to change. I change my message like quite a lot as well, but there is like an underlying theme with it, right, that I have noticed, which is around like self-expression, which is around, you know, you being all of you, and that's enough, right? And it's letting it be okay when the message comes through and it's a little bit messy and it's a little bit all over the place, and it's not that it's not enough, it's when you start to hold back because you're not completely clear or you're not completely certain, because the certainty comes actually from taking the action, which is what I'm going to go into. So I'm already getting sidetracked, but it's great. I love talking about all this stuff. Right? So every day that you do decide to show up, even when you're not certain, it's still creating a ripple effect. Okay, it's still creating forward momentum. So even if you're like second guessing yourself, even when you show up, it's still creating that empowerment, okay? It's still creating that inspiration. And it's the thoughts behind that, right? Of like, well, you know, I'm second guessing myself, so therefore I must not be enough, okay? My message as it stands in this moment, because I'm not sure, isn't enough, right? So there's that underlying like thought process around it as like this isn't enough. Do you know what I mean? So that's where we want to start shifting. Okay, I'm going to be going into this in a little bit more detail, and that this is like what I'm going to talk to you about today is like the very, very kind of, you know, foundational, the 3 keys to what I believe and what I have seen it takes for light workers specifically to create success. Again, whatever success looks like for you. Okay, so what are these 3 keys? Now, what I'm hoping is that you can actually see this. So let's try. So I'm going to create a little thing for you that I'm going to put, like a PDF thing that I'm going to put in the guide section. So all of these trainings are only going to be available for 14 days in this space. And the reason why I'm only doing them for 14 days is because I want you to actually do them. If I just keep creating training after training after training and leave it there, people are just going to come into the space. There's going to be a shitload of information. They're not going to know where to start. And also, I want you to do the work. I don't want this to be a space that you just think, right, I'll just do it whenever and leave it on the back burner, because that's not how you get results, right? So I'm only putting things in this space for 14 days. And that means I'm only giving support on it for 14 days, okay? So some of the training videos are going to go on YouTube, but not all of them. Some of them I'm actually going to use as part of like bonuses and things like that for my paid courses and containers. So what I'm getting at is I want you to actually do this work, because that's how you're going to see the transformation. So the 3 keys, okay, I haven't AI'd this, I haven't chat GPT'd this, any of this stuff, right? This has been through my own realizations, okay? So actually what I'm just going to talk to you about just for 2 minutes is my kind of business journey. Okay, so I trained as a transformational coach back in 2017. It was a year-long in-depth program. I'm not going to go into my whole spiritual awakening process because it's just going to take too long. I'm just going to let you know like what my journey has been to having a what I would call a successful business. Now, there's always a new level of success, okay? But what success looked like for me for a very long time was me not having to work another job as well as doing this. Because I started my business, I would say, about 5 or 6 years ago, okay? And I was still working full time. So for about 3 years of having my business, I was in a full-time job. So at first a corporate job in a banking call centre that I'd worked in for about 15 years. And after that, I worked in a warehouse for about 18 months. So it's only been since March 2022 that I've had a what I call full-time business, okay, that fully supports me, that allows me to also continue to invest in myself and, you know, to be able to pay my bills and everything else, okay? But there's always a new level of success, because as you know, as in the human experience, our souls are naturally expanding. We're always wanting to expand. We're always wanting to grow. So wherever you get to, there's always going to be a new level, and it's going to look different for everybody, because we've all got different ways, unique ways in which we're expressing our gifts. So these 3 things, okay, so I've always been very drawn to triangles, okay, and I believe for me it's kind of like the third eye. So what we've got here is soul work success in the middle, right? So this is my logo now. It's the triangle. At the top, we've got channeling abilities, okay? We've got an identity shift here, and we've also then got aligned action, right? So it's these 3 things, and I'm going to explain why it's these 3 things. So as a light worker, okay, in some capacity, most likely you will be doing some form of channeling work, whatever that looks like for you. So I am a light language activation channel and guide. I am an angelic Reiki master teacher, and I'm also a transformational coach. And I combine all those things into one. Okay, mostly now what I'm doing is I'm supporting light workers activating their purpose and creating powerful, aligned spiritual businesses. Okay, and below that is me supporting them to trust in their own uniqueness, okay, and empowering them, okay. So that's how I kind of put everything together, right? Now, the channeling abilities at the top. So the triangle, the upward facing triangle for me, it's kind of like you are channeling from source, the divine, your angels, guys. You are bringing the heaven into the earth, okay? So it's like the pyramid. It just resonates with me on every level, and I'm sure it probably does with you as well, okay? So this particular thing, it's like I see a lot of these shapes and things like that when I'm channeling, okay? So the channeling aspect and why it applies to the soul work success, to you having success, it's your ability to connect with your heart, okay? Your channeling is your ability to create. It's how you bring the spiritual information, like I just said, into the physical. Anybody that ever did anything of note, okay, was on some level a channel, even if they didn't realize it. Because in order for them to do something new, to do something unique, they had to access something that they'd never heard about before, right? So when you work on your channeling abilities and then apply this to your business, you're going to hit creative insights more. You're going to trust yourself. You're going to trust your vision, and you're going to receive the next steps from a state of ease and from a state of flow, right? And so that's why I incorporate light language channeling now into everything that I do. Because at one point I was just activating people's light language, and what I learned over time from doing lots and lots of one-to-one mentoring, taking people on the journey, okay, of going through an activation process, is that in every single instance it amplified their spiritual abilities and whatever work it was that they were doing. So for example, if they were a medium, they became a much more accurate medium that wasn't getting in their head so much. If they were, somebody that was like a fashion designer, they were creating next level like artwork and stuff like that. It amplifies your ability to receive creative insights. And I'm not saying you have to do it through light language. There's many different ways you can work on your channeling abilities. That's the way that I do it, and that's the way I empower my clients to do it, because it's incredibly beautiful and it gives everything that you do like just a whole new kind of energetic aspect, and it makes what you do incredibly magnetic as well. So, channeling abilities, again, also looks like you connecting in with your angels, guides, your higher self, because they're going to support you in creating a powerful spiritual business. They're going to help you to create the next steps. They're going to show you the next steps. Things become easier. Synchronicities happen. There's an element of surrendering with this aspect, with the channeling abilities. Okay, because when we've got a spiritual business, or when we live in our purpose and it's like it's not happening, a lot of the time is because we're not connecting to this channeling aspect. We're not allowing the magic to happen. It's that trust of we're going to be supported. It's going to come through. The people are going to come. That is the trust bit. That's the surrendering bit, and that comes from you working on your connection to source, you allowing, right, source and the divine to work through you. If you don't have the channeling aspect in your business, in your soul work, it's going to look like you trying to do it all from your mind, and you trying to do it all from taking action, okay? So it's really important that you sit and you allow source to speak through you and to work through you when it comes to your business. And it might well be, so this is why, you know, they always say, like, ask, yeah? It can look like, you know, if you were religious, for example, praying as well. But the channeling aspect, it's super, super important. And that's why I put it at the top, okay? Because when we're creating a business, a spiritual business, we're doing it because we've got that deeper underlying, this is what my soul is calling me to do. So without that aspect, trying to do it all from the mind and trying to do it from just learning strategies, it's not going to work. It just isn't going to work, and you're going to burn out and you're going to give up and you're going to end up hating what you do and just being like, oh no, it never works. Like, this doesn't work for me, okay? So super important. The next bit, identity shift, okay? And as we go through these, okay, let me know afterwards. You don't have to let me know now. I'm going to give you some exercises to do as well. Let me know which one is it that you know, because you're all going to struggle with different things. If you're a more logical person, you might struggle with channeling more. If you're someone that just likes to do, you're going to struggle probably with the mindset more or with the channeling more. So the next one was the identity shift. Okay, so your identity, what is that? Okay, it's who you believe yourself to be, right? Literally, it's your state of beingness. It's the thoughts and the feelings that you have about yourself. It's your self-concept, the concept of self, of who you are in relation to your purpose work, in relation to your spiritual business, okay? So the identity shift, without the identity shift, again, the other two things are not going to work, okay? So it's not the same as your ego, okay? Because your ego is the survival part of your brain that tries to keep you safe. So it's different to the ego, okay? It's literally who you believe yourself to be. It's the inner conversation that you're having all day long with yourself, right? So, you know, examples of this that I hear from people, okay, let's say it's they've got a, you know, a negative self-concept, okay? So they might, around business, and they might say things like, you know, I'm crap at selling, okay? I don't know how to do this. I'm not meant for this. Nothing ever works out for me, okay? I don't know how to do business. Yeah, I've tried everything and it's still not working for me. Hi, Sarah, right? So this is the inner conversation that you're having with yourself all day long around you as somebody living your purpose, around you as a healer, as a coach, okay? So it could be, you know, I'm not good at this. You know, no one wants to receive what I have to give. It's all that sort of stuff. So it's the inner conversation, right? So the identity shift that we want to be having in order to have soul work success is noticing what our thoughts, feelings and beliefs are around who we are as a business owner and as somebody who is living our purpose. Yeah, so more empowering beliefs would be, you know, I'm great at business, okay? Business is easy for me. I'm great at selling. And, you know, even as I say these things now, I still have to work on these things. You know, there's like the little imposter syndrome, there's a little doubts that come up, right? So this is like one of the biggest ones, right? And I'm guessing it's going to be like the biggest one for a lot of people in here. Imposter syndrome is huge, right, for people that are doing this work, because it's very, very rare, you know, that somebody who wants to do channeling, who wants to have a spiritual soul aligned business, is actually good at selling in the beginning. It's something that I've had to learn, and it's that reframing of what it actually is anyway, because all selling is, right, all having a spiritual business is making genuine relationships with people, connecting with people on a heart level, and giving people an opportunity to work with you. like the word selling is so triggering for so many people, but that's literally what it is. It's giving people an opportunity. So am I good at giving people an opportunity? Well, there's still things that I can work on, but I would say I'm a lot better than I was, right? But the thoughts that I might have around that then when I notice that, oh no, I'm not very good at selling, is no, like I am good at selling because of all these times in the past, blah, 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 right? So it's telling a more empowering story. Now, if you've not got empowering stories, it's like we say, well, I'm good at connecting with people. And it's all of these conversations, yeah, that you're having in your mind about who you believe yourself to be. And this is on a very, very, very surface level, because that's all I'm going to be able to give you today. Okay, so the aligned action then, this one here, right? Also, again, another one that people massively struggle with. The aligned action is the practical steps to building a business. So again, the aligned action is something that I've had to learn, and it's taken me many years to learn, and I'm still learning it now, right? So the aligned actions being how to do a live stream, yeah? How to create a reel, how to create a TikTok, what to do at an MBS event, what to do at a networking event. It's the physical actions, okay, that you are taking to build your business. And no one knows how to do these things. It's something that you learn, right? But what trips a lot of people up is that they're like, well, I'm crap at business, but they've not even taken any steps to take the aligned action. And the word aligned, what I mean is, okay, it's an action that feels alive in your soul for you to take. So for example, doing this does not feel hard for me. It's incredibly natural, actually, because it's an extension of my purpose. And my purpose, as I said before, is to support and empower lightworkers in living their purpose. So for me to do this, it's a joyful thing. It's your aligned action, okay, is you sharing your gifts and services. Okay, so what a lot of people do, and again with the word selling, is they get so much in their heads around what it actually is. It's literally you giving people a snapshot of what you do. Okay, now again, there was a point when doing this made me incredibly nervous. There was a point when, you know, I'd be stuttering in front of the camera. There was a point when I would absolutely dread this, but I don't anymore. I look forward to it. I do get a little bit nervous. But today I was like, yeah, I can't wait to do this, because it's so aligned with who I am. And this is why, you know, it is important to channel, okay? Because when you're channeling, you're more connected with your purpose and the identity shift, right, of who I believe myself now to be. Because I now believe myself to be somebody that has the ability to inspire other people. I didn't always have that belief. It's something that I've had to work on within me first through my own inner transformation before I then, you know, to a point went and shared it. But again, I feel like where people get stuck is that they think that they have to be perfect, because I'm still learning all of this and I'm sharing with you what I know, okay? So you only literally have to be like half a step ahead of somebody else to start sharing about it. Okay, so how's that landing with everybody? Okay, so just let me know, you know, like what your thoughts are. Where do you feel like, what feels like your strong point, okay, out of them, and what feels like, let's say, your weak point, or the point where you really feel like, I can't do this bit, right? Because it's all three of those, literally. And I'm not sat here thinking, now I need to channel, now I need to go and work on my identity, now I need to take aligned action. It's more like, it's a very intuitive thing where I'm like, right, okay, I really am stuck in this area. I'm glad it makes sense, Deb. I really am stuck in this area. I need help and support from my angels and guides. I need to allow the information to move through me, because then it's not coming from a space of force. It's not coming from a space of I'm trying to get outside of myself, right? The identity, okay, Angela says my weak point is definitely my identity shift. Yeah. And I feel like that could probably be the biggest one for a lot of light workers, because it's the self-doubt, it's the self-talk, and it is the biggest thing. I'm going to be covering it in detail in here, right? It really is. It's your concept of self, right? Because when we have that as well, when we work on that concept of self, we trust in our channeling abilities even more. So it is kind of like a big, it's all of it, yeah? It's all of it together. And when you've got all of those three aspects together, that's when the embodiment happens. And that's when the success happens. And you show up differently because you trust yourself. And when you show up in that way, you're more magnetic. And whatever you kind of put out in the world, you know, it might take time to come back to you. It might take time for the 3D reflection to catch up. But people are going to gravitate towards you because there's just something about you that is magnetic, literally. Yeah, everyone's saying identity shift, identity shift, identity shift. Okay, right, good. Yeah, it's just that I know. But it's important, all of these pieces, right? Okay, beautiful. Who in here, just let me know in the comments as well, is taking action as well? Is there anyone that's like taking action in their business but feels like it's just nothing's happening with it, right? Because if you're taking a lot of action, which I was doing for a long time, it's like, no, I need to show up. I need, any time where you take action, but it's from a place of I need to show up, I should show up. Because then my visibility is going to go, or the algorithm's not going to like me anymore, or like, you know, what if I miss a client? The should is not the aligned action, okay? And when you're taking action from the place of should, you know, or the survival mode of I've got to make my business work, that's the point where you want to be going to your channeling abilities. Right, where you want to be sitting, connecting with source, asking what is the next best step. Show me the aligned next best step, right? And then something will come to you. Maybe it'll come from an intuitive insight. Maybe you'll see something on Facebook. You know, might come from a mentor, right? But something will come, okay? So whenever you're getting in that action of the hamster wheel action, showing up, yeah, I take action from I need money, yeah. And so that, again, the I need money is the identity shift. Right, and yes, it's true, we do need money, facts, that is our exchange. But when we show up from the identity shift of I have more than enough money, even if you don't believe it in the moment, okay, there's that overflow. I'll give you an example of this, right? So I've not had a phone again, like for a day or something, all the way down to the phone shop, because I didn't have my phone. Normally I'm listening to like podcasts and things like that, and I'm filling my mind with stuff that's supporting my business. I was like, no, I'm just gonna be in the end, okay, of like, what I mean by that is of having just an abundance of money, and I could feel this money, and I could imagine myself all the way down. I was like, no, holding this money, I can physically feel this money. Like, I remember at one point I was like completely surrounded by money and it was like sat in this money. Anyway, I got to the phone shop because I've had problems with this phone on and off, right, for like weeks. It's been doing my head in, and I ended up complaining and taking it back, and I was like, no, somehow, some way this works in my favor, right? Anyway, so I went to the shop, and the guy was like, he sorted me out with his phone now, this Samsung S25, whatever it is, because I needed the camera to look good. And he was like a content creator, and I was talking to him all about that. And he had a look at my account, and he went, actually, you know what? He said, I can throw you in a Samsung iPad as well. So now I've got a free iPad, like for actually less money. And the last few days I've been looking into like buying, well, it's not an iPad, is it? A notebook or whatever it's called. I've been actually looking into buying this notebook. But literally all the way down to the shop, I was like, for about half an hour, I was like, I've got no phone, right? What can I do? And this is what I mean about like living in the end. Okay, I was just seeing and feeling myself in the state of being surrounded by all this money and like just throwing the money everywhere, right? Literally got to the shop and literally, I swear to God, the guy was sorted me out an iPad, like a literal thing. So now we don't have to go and find this extra money, which would have been hundreds, to get like this notebook thing. So this is just an example of how quickly this stuff can shift, right? So there was two things that I did there. So one, I was like channeling. I was like, right, okay, show me what I need to actually, you know, create this money. And then the identity shift. So I was seeing myself just completely surrounded with money. And then the identity shift was, I was feeling myself as somebody who has a lot of money, right? And then the physical result of that was then I was given something that was potentially going to cost me a lot of money in my business. Okay, so all of these things add up. Okay, yes, I'm motivated and empowered to take action and then get shy about it 2 days later. Okay, so what it sounds like then from the stuff that everyone is saying here is it's definitely more around the identity shift as opposed to the taking action, the channeling gifts and trusting in the channeling abilities, right? So that's what we'll be focusing on. Okay, so what your homework is going to be, and I'm going to put it in the guide section either tonight or tomorrow morning, we'll see what we get done. I want you to go through each aspect of this thing, of the little triangle, the little pyramid. Okay, so for the channeling aspects, what I want you to do is just to spend time, maybe like 5 minutes a day. Okay, it's not going to take you long, any of this, right? So start connecting and meditating on your business and on your purpose work. Connecting with the angels more when you get stuck and asking them for guidance and clarity. Whoever it is that you work with, your higher self, source, whatever you want, right? So that you're not getting into your head, you're not getting into the negative mind chatter. And when you're taking action and you're like, I don't know what to do, like just taking a few minutes before you actually go ahead and take action, tuning in, even just dropping into your heart, like taking a few breaths into my heart and being like, into your heart and being like, okay, is this the next aligned action? If you feel an expansion, it's a yes. If it's a contraction, it's a no. And if it's a contraction, then you can ask, okay, angels and guides, show me what the next step is. And you can do some journaling on it and just allow your pen to free write. I've just had a cacao before this, so I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Right. And again, this is going to help you to surrender as well. So when you're getting in your head and you're like, this is doing my head in, nothing's working. Again, I'm going to invite you just to channel, to sit and just to be and just to allow the information to come through. What do I need to know right now? Why do I feel that this isn't working right now? Allow yourself to journal. You've got to start noticing when these thoughts are coming up and giving it up to something greater than you, because otherwise these thoughts, if you just leave them, they're just going to stay there and then they compound on themselves, and then it gets to the point where, like, you know, I just feel like giving up, or I'm burnt out or stressed, because you're not surrendering, you're not allowing, right? Light workers are channels, they are the bringers of light. Light is information, okay? So, for the identity shift, this is about awareness, a big part of this, right? You've got to have awareness of what the actual thoughts are. So start monitoring, right, your thoughts as much as you can, because you're not going to get it perfect. And if, do you know what I mean? As much as you can, your thoughts around your soul work, okay, and sharing your gifts. So when a thought comes up, just stop if you can, okay, and ask yourself this question. Is this thought a thought that is serving me, or is this a disempowering thought? Okay, and obviously I'll start giving you stuff to start working through this, but it's having that awareness. And then once you start having that awareness in itself of going, no, that was a disempowering thought. Okay, well, what's the more empowering thought? And that's how you start to notice. That's how you start to make shifts. Okay, that's how you start to program your consciousness, which then programs your subconsciousness. Okay, with empowering thoughts. And over time, thoughts become beliefs. We operate from our belief system, and that's when you start taking action from an empowered place. Okay, so I'll write these 3 things out as well in the guides for you. I'll do a little thing, a little PDF thing. So with the actions, with the aligned action, yeah, am I taking an action from what I think that I should do, okay, for survival mode, or am I doing it? Right, so am I doing it from a place of, because this is just what you have to do as a business owner, or this is just what you have to do in your purpose work, because that's survival mode, okay? So yes, there are things that we have to do. I'm not going to lie to you about that. There's admin things, there's tax return things. But when it comes to your creative work, it's always 1,000 times more effective if it's an aligned action that comes from a state of joy. So start noticing, is this an action that is an extension of the healing work that I'm doing because I'm so called to share it, because it's so much in my soul, because it feels so empowering and I love being in this creative state? Or is it, am I just churning content out, or am I just doing this thing? Am I going to this networking thing because this is what I feel like I should do? Do I get to do this from a state of love, right? Creativity. Is this in alignment with my light work? Because yes, we do have to take action on some level, because if we don't take action, then we don't have a business, because no one actually knows who we are. We're not living our purpose, because it's still about creating connections. But there's a deeper, more aligned way to create connection, which is through aligned actions, which creates genuine, authentic relationships. Okay, so they're the 3 things. And again, I'm going to write them out for you so that you can really tune in. And then what I want you to do is I want you to put your insights into the group, right, for other people to learn from, just so that I know that you're receiving from this, so that I know that you're doing the work. Okay, and then I know what content is going to serve you best going forwards, right? So they're the 3 things, right? Soul work, success. And it's just something that over time becomes natural. This is kind of like the foundation, I would say, to everything. And it's having that understanding, that initial understanding of this in the beginning. So let me know how you receive this. You're going to get 14 days to do it. Okay, I'm happy to answer questions for 14 days on this post, right? And I want to just see, you know, how you're using this information, how you're applying this information. And let me know if there's any areas, again, that you feel like you're really good at, you're really strong at, that you really enjoy doing. Yeah, let me know if you're channeling stuff, and let me know what's coming through and you want to celebrate that, because we can all learn from one another. Okay, so something else that I'm thinking, I am seriously thinking about doing this, is I'm also considering creating an online once a month Zoom networking thing for Lightworkers. Now, I'm not going to charge for it. A lot of people charge for it. I'm not feeling called to charge for it, okay? But what, again, I'm going to ask for is, it's only for people that really want to show up and be joining it from a space of collaboration and creation. Because, you know, we're all here to support one another. Yeah, so it's more of a like, what can I give? How can I collaborate with others? And what I feel like I'm going to do is ask people each month, a couple of you, to kind of talk about what it is that you do and share it, okay, so that people can have an understanding. Now, what I'm absolutely not going to do with this space is let it turn into a spiritual marketplace where everyone's just putting in their services and all that. And the reason why is because it doesn't work in terms of people growing and developing, because people will just see it, they'll just drop their links in and then they'll leave, right? So what I want to do is I want to do it in the Zoom space that we're actually talking about things and actually sharing and having conversations about things, right? And going, okay, well, you do this and I do that. So how could we come together and then collaborate? Because, you know, getting people's eyes, new people's eyes on you is how you grow your business. Okay, so when we collaborate with others and you think about things that can serve your audience and their audience, that's going to be super empowering, and it's going to create a lot more networking, a lot of people that are going to get to know you outside of that, right? So I feel like you're all really kind of on board with this. So Lorna, this has been interesting. Thank you. Very, very welcome. I'm glad it's been interesting. Debs, you like that idea. Angela, really good idea. Like-minded people, cool. Loving this idea. Genuine connections, not a marketplace. Yeah, it needs to be genuine connection. And, you know, again, I'm not going to charge for it. The thing that I'm going to ask for in return, though, is that you share this space. Yeah, you share this space with others. You let them know about this work that I'm doing. That's the exchange that I'm asking for. If somebody, you know, is struggling in their business, then please let them know about this. And whether they work with me or not, it's fine. It's just that I feel like there's a bit of a gap in the market for kind of online networking, and I've seen other people do it and charge for it, and I feel like people are very hesitant to kind of come to stuff like that and pay for it. I know I would be, because it's like, well, like, it's more about creating relationships and creating connections. So I'm not going to be coaching on it at all. I'm not going to be sort of doing any of that, but I'm going to think about ways in which I can maybe put people in the Zoom rooms, in the different Zoom rooms, so that they can talk maybe one-on-one to one another and just share what they do, and like sort of, you know, and there's no pressure to kind of work with anybody. But if you're kind of liking what someone's doing and you're really resonating with it, then great. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can message that person later and go, you know what, I really like what you're talking about. I feel like we could offer something here. I feel like we could maybe create a training around this. I feel like we could do TikToks together, or do you know what I mean? And it's just about, the more people that know what you do, right, the better. So that's what it's about. So I think, yeah, you're all really loving that idea. Okay, Selena, love connection and collaboration aligned with where my year is headed already. Yeah, perfect. Lorna, love this. Okay, right, so what I'll do then is I'll start really feeling into how I can actually do it. Yeah, and I will come up with a date in March. Okay, so what I feel like I'm going to have to do, though, because everyone's got different schedules, and I know not everyone can do evenings. So maybe I'll do a poll, and maybe like 1 month I'll do an evening, and maybe like 1 month I'll do a daytime one, like a lunchtime one or something like that, because I know people have got kids and it's not ideal for everybody in the evening either. And that's how I'm going to do these trainings. Sometimes they're going to be at this time, sometimes they're going to be earlier on. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know. I'll put everything in the guides, and you can let me know what you've received from it. And yeah, like, just, you know, all I'm going to ask for is that you just help me to grow this space if you feel called to. So I'm excited to see what you're all gonna, you know, come up with from this as well. Like, I love people seeing, you know, doing really well in their business. It's just so incredible. You're very welcome, Lorna. And it would be beautiful. I know many of you need that connection as well, because I know with myself, like, I do have spiritual community, because I'm incredibly blessed to be living in Manchester, where it's absolutely thriving in terms of, we are absolutely, I'm not going to use the word spoiled, but we are blessed in terms of all of the things that we've got here. But it's also nice, you know, I do love to connect with people all over the world, like you, Selena, right, that are in different countries. There's something that's so much on my heart, and I absolutely adore working with people from different countries and cultures as well. You know, it's so much fun, like being able to support someone on their journey and their transformation that's like on the other side of the world. So Yes, incredible. Right, let's just have a quick read. Thank you, Amy. Love it. Welcome, Angela. Really good and informative chat. Brilliant. Debs. Selena, thank you so much. This was very timely, relevant information. Dense half hours turned into 50 minutes, but it's fine. I really appreciate your gift of being able to break down concepts in easy to digest bits. I really appreciate this spirit and excited to see where this group takes me. Right, fab. Okay, Selena, I'm going to put that as like a thing to, you know, like a post. I know you won't mind with that. Me too. I love connecting with different countries. Lorna, you're a different country. You're a Scottish. You're a Scottish person. So Lorna classes is a different country. Angela classes is a different country as well because she's Welsh. Paul is from Mid, so she's not she's not that exotic. Okay, right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all for joining me. Look out for the guide section, and I can't wait to see what you come up with from this. I shall see you all soon. I'm going to go and get my tea now. Lots and lots and lots of love. I'll let you know when the next one's going to be. The next one will be at an earlier time, okay? Speak to you soon.